All right, so today I'm going to talk about electrical ground. And this is a topic that was very confusing to me. I didn't quite understand it when I was in school, and I only recently got somewhat familiar and comfortable with the concept of ground. Um, the easiest way for me to think about ground is just a relative voltage that is zero. So, for example, you have a battery that has an electric potential between the positive and the negative terminal. And that potential is, let's say, 9 volts, right? Um, but that doesn't mean that the negative terminal is 0 volts and the positive is 5 volts. It's actually just a measure of the difference between the charges on either end of this battery or either terminal of the battery. And when you hook up your circuit, the negative terminal of the battery becomes the ground because it is the lowest charge thing in the circuit. So a lot of times you'll hear about it being called a sink or an electron sink or a potential sink or voltage sink, whatever. Basically, it is, you could, I know the term sink is not exactly used the same way here, but you could think of it as a sink, like in your kitchen or your bathroom. Things flow down into it, and they go away. They flow down, and so you can think of the bottom of your battery as the bottom of a hill or the bottom of your sink, and the positive terminal of the battery is maybe the faucet, and you can put something in that stream of water and do something with it, and it's flowing from top to bottom. And it's the same way with electric potential. It's flowing from um, the high positive charge to the negative. And now some of you might be saying, right as I said that, but wait, the the electricity actually flows in the opposite direction. It actually flows from the negative terminal to the positive terminal. But that's not really super important for this. It's just because electrons are negatively charged, they flow opposite of what we think. But regardless, the ground is just a reference for negative the negative charge. So we just think of that as zero, and then we think of the positive as 5 volts or 9 volts, whatever the differential is. And so the circuit needs to flow. There needs to be a difference for it to flow. So that's electrical ground for a closed circuit. Now, there's also electrical ground for the literal ground, and that is using the earth as a voltage sink. And basically, the earth is slightly negatively charged. And I may be getting I may be getting this like super wrong, super generalized, but the earth is negatively charged, and if we are creating a voltage of some kind, a differential between, our power lines or whatever and the earth, then the current can flow between the earth and that power source. Now there is, with alternating current, it's the electrons are flowing back and forth on the wire. If that goes to ground, the electrons can still flow back and forth because they actually have a place to go back and forth to. The earth has a ton of electrons in it. So that's kind of the idea with electrical ground as far as like earth grounding. It's just a relative, it's a known value. You know that if your circuit or your thing is more positively or negatively charged than the earth, that current will flow. So that is as best of an explanation of ground, electrical ground anyway, that I can muster right now. Um, if you know if you know more about this than I do, please comment. I would love to understand this more. This is just the best I can do right now. Um, and this isn't even getting into like radio ground, totally different thing. And I definitely do not understand that. Radio waves are still black magic to me. So would love to learn more about that. So please leave a comment and let me know what I got wrong, I guess. Thanks.